Hey guys, I'm out here live at a skate park to address something that a lot of beginner skaters are going to have trouble with, and that's a fear or an intimidation about starting to surf skate in skate parks. And this is understandable. You know, you get there, it might be busy, there might be a lot of really good skaters out there doing their thing. So even if there are really good skateboarders at the park, it's not a reason to be intimidated. They're out there doing their thing, trying to improve their own riding, trying to master a trick. They're not going to have time to be worried about your skill level, how you're riding, what you're wearing, whether you're mall grabbing or not. Basically, they're going to be doing their thing, you're going to be doing your thing. What can cause conflict is if you do something inadvertently to get in their way or to create a dangerous situation. So I'm going to walk you through some of the basics, some of the rules to be aware of so that we can avoid those kind of dangerous situations or where you might, accidentally get someone upset at you. Let's walk through it right now. So if you're coming from a surfing background, you know that before you paddle out into the ocean, the very first thing that you should do is observe from a safe location. And it's the same thing when you get to a new skate park. Every park has its own flow, and there's going to be different lines that people tend to use. So observing beforehand is going to help you to anticipate where different users are going to be, get a feel for the timing, and figure out the safest window for you to start your run. Keep in mind that different users, like skateboarders, BMXers, scooters, they're going to use the park in a different way. They usually have slightly different ways of interacting with obstacles, so take note. Now, small children on scooters are going to tend to be the most unpredictable and unfamiliar with skate park etiquette, so be on high alert if there are lots of them around. In some places, other park users might not be familiar with surf skates, and we really do use the terrain differently. So most of the times when I've had collisions, it's because someone else didn't take the time to observe the line that I'd been doing over and over. So basically they followed too close, expecting me to air out of the ramp like a skateboard or a scooter. And when I did a snap and started coming back down the ramp, we were on course for an unavoidable collision. So that's just a reminder to always be on high alert when you're out there and be prepared to brace for impact if you're cutting back and going back down the ramp. Most areas of the park can be used by multiple people at a time, but one exception to that is bowls. Unless you have a super long snake run or a huge bowl that has different compartmentalized sections, that's one at a time, and that's for safety. So make sure that someone else is cleared before you go in, and never enter if somebody else is already skating a bowl. Almost everything in a skate park is a skatable obstacle. So if you see something like this, it's not a bench to sit down on. It's not somewhere to put your stuff. Basically, a rule of thumb, if you see wax on a ledge or metal edging, it's a skatable obstacle and not a good place to leave your stuff. Another thing, you don't want to leave your board or bag or anything else that's in the pathway to or from an obstacle, because that can create a really dangerous situation if someone doesn't see it until the last minute. They're about to exit a trick and land on your stuff and fall. So when you're just starting out, going at non-peak times is the way to go. Often early mornings or during the school day, or even right after a rain when it's just dried up, like right now, that tends to be a good time where you're likely to get smaller crowds. Good time to start when you're just starting out. A few things you can do that'll help you make friends when you're at the skate park. So when you see someone land a trick that they've been working on for a long time and they finally get it, it's nice to acknowledge that. You might hear someone yell, "You," or "Yep," or "Yeah." And that's just a way of acknowledging that someone's done something. So if you hear someone do that to you, they're not insulting you, that's actually a compliment. They're acknowledging the trick that you've been working hard and finally landed. Yeah. You good? That's the universal skate park way of asking if someone's okay after they take a hard slam. Usually it's just something nice to say, but if they are really badly hurt and you're able to help, that's a good thing to do. You never know when you might need it as well. So always good to have that good karma by asking "you good" if you see someone fall. The other thing is mistakes happen. It happens to everybody no matter how experienced. So if you make a mistake and you get into somebody's line or cause a collision, apologize. Even if it wasn't your fault, it's just a nice gesture to do, and it's going to go a long way to making sure you fit in and get along well with the other people at the skate parks, because once you start going there regularly, you're going to recognize people, you become a regular, so good to be in the good books. The first thing is starting your run without doing a shoulder check. The person who's in motion has the hardest time being able to stop, so it's the responsibility of the person starting their run to make sure that it's safe before they enter the park. The second one is taking marathon runs. One of the great things about Surfskate is that you can go for kilometers without putting your foot down. You can take marathon runs that last forever, but do that when it's an empty park. When there's people waiting their turns, nobody likes it if you are taking your time and not really trying anything too difficult. So if you're down there, you've reached the point where you have to kind of start pumping from a stop, that's probably a good indicator that it's time to end your run and give someone else a shot.
There are lots of other unwritten rules that you'll pick up as you go, but these are the key ones that I think will help to get you started in breaking that barrier and getting out to the skate park, or if you're new at it and have been a few times before, knowing how to do it better. So get out there, guys. It's so much fun riding a surf skate in the skate park. Have fun, be safe, follow these guidelines, and you'll have a blast. Thanks for watching.